Next thing I know, it's going up and up and up, and there were these humongous flames that ended up becoming this towering inferno.
We don't mind when the storms blow over, to be honest with you, but if they do come, we're prepared.
So the library's turning 100, and we're celebrating our anniversary this year.
With the luck of God, nobody lost their life in this event.
Air conditioner.
It took hours to battle a blaze that engulfed a Linwood Park apartment building on February 14th, but only minutes for government officials and emergency services personnel to come to the aid of victims. The outpouring of services and support was incredible. Everyone, including concerned residents and business owners, sprung into action as soon as the news spread that the victims had lost everything.
Fort Lee is amazing. The stuff they did for us, not just in doing things, but in loving compassion, kindness.
We removed people from the fire scene here. We made sure that they had a place to sleep, a place to rest, gather their thoughts, a place to eat, and shower capabilities, which is why Fort Lee High School is Fort Lee's main human shelter in the time of extreme emergency.
We were able to provide care and comfort for the people who needed a place to stay. We're an organization of people helping people. So when you go into a town and they open their arms and they just want to be as helpful as they can to their residents, it makes the world a difference.
The local businesses in town have been great. I mean, they've been coming in with food and things for the firefighters throughout the night and the morning.
Everybody is supportive, helpful, and but the most thanks goes to my volunteers and the volunteers of about 15 other towns in this area. They behaved heroically. I cannot begin to tell you how proud I am of them. And what they did last night for probably 18 straight hours was something I wish my entire community could see, because we've always in government have been committed to emergency services, but what happened here last night and the impact and how they went about handling themselves is a reason why we're committed to emergency services.
The Senior Citizen Center on Main Street opened its doors and served as a resource center for the victims. Soon after, a donation center was set up at the Recreation Center, where residents and businesses quickly began dropping off food, gift cards, checks, toiletries, and clothing. It's been less than 24 hours since the fire. What have you seen so far?
Not even after 24 hours, after like 7 or 8 hours of the fire even igniting, the residents have been coming together to help the victims of the fire. These people must be devastated. They lost everything, so, you know, it's really great to see people, you know, come together and help each other.
We respectfully request that residents of 3011 call us and set up an appointment so we can really be available to them, and we will do as much as we can. What that looks like will be determined as time moves on. I have reached out to several ministers in Fort Lee who have some trauma counseling to see if they will be willing to do some of that one-on-one with families, and so far several have said that they would.
Fort Lee's like the town to live in. I'm so glad of all the towns I picked the right one.
We've been relatively lucky so far this year and have managed to avoid any significant snowfall. But when forecasters predict snow, the Department of Public Works gears up to prepare for whatever Mother Nature dumps on us. Fort Lee Today on Demand got a behind-the-scenes look at what goes on at the DPW prior to a snowfall.
People don't see what we do prior to a storm, but there's a lot of work.
The men and women of the DPW start days before a storm is predicted. Things look quiet here now, but this is when the work begins.
Well, most of our work is preparation. So prior to the storm, we are putting all our plows on. Next step is to make sure that we have enough salt. So we always keep an abundance of salt on hand.
In the storm, I would say we use anywhere from 60 to 100 tons.
We'll start checking the trucks, making sure, you know, like a pre-trip, making sure all the tires are good, all the salters are running, all the plows have enough hydraulic fluid.
Prior to the storm, we'll usually brine our streets, so it gives us a head start on the snow.
So this is our salt brine system that actually a bunch of our guys got together and designed it, so it's all homemade system. We put our salt in the top, in the hopper here. We add fresh water. It mixes up, and then we have to check it with hydrometer. And you just have to make sure that it's pinned up in this area where the freezing point is. and your water's good to go, it buys that, you know, maybe hour or so for guys to get on the roads and start doing the salters and plowing.
Our main priority is to open the roads for emergencies. Fire, police, ambulance. We want to make sure if you're a resident and you need their help, they're going to get to you.
We go in tandem, so we'll have small trucks, 3 small trucks, and we'll go stagger in back of each other, and then the big salt truck will be in the back and getting curb to curb and spreading as we go along. And again, like, you got to get your rest. There's times when we're out there 26 hours at a time.
They can be up the entire night. And then there's a lot of shoveling that goes on.
Everybody thinks that once we're done plowing the streets, that's it, we're done for the day. And they don't realize how many parks we got to go do and how many buildings we have in the town that need to be opened up for people. We got to do crosswalks.
So this is our snow melter for the very large snowfall if we have to clean off Main Street for the people to park. There'll be operators out on the road removing snow, loading our trucks. Trucks come up here, dump it, and then another operator will stay in the yard and constantly load this. It melts, comes out here, and just disperses onto the ground.
There's a lot of people on these roads in Fort Lee, and our goal is to keep everybody safe.
It's hard to believe, but the Fort Lee Public Library is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year. If you grew up in Fort Lee, I'm sure you have many fond memories of the library. Well, now you'll have an opportunity to share those stories. To celebrate the anniversary, the library is collecting stories, memories, and memorabilia from its first century of service to the Fort Lee community.
We are looking for candidates for the oral history program. We're looking for people that have been members of the Fort Lee Public Library and the Fort Lee community for a long time.
We're going to be holding interviews in March, and we're looking for more people who have great stories. Fort Lee loves its community, and it's really endearing to hear them share their stories.
Everybody has a memory about the library, and we want all those memories. The good ones, the interesting ones, the funny ones, we want to hear them all.
If you would like to be considered for an interview or to contribute stories, memories, or memorabilia, you can contact Kerry at 201-592-3614, extension 4010. Your story can become part of the library's history.
1919 is when the library started out as a small collection that was started by the Mothers Club of School 1 and housed in a real estate office on Lemoyne Ave. In 1922, the borough built a library, and that was on Center in Maine. And then the library traveled to New Borough Hall in 1930, where it stayed until 1971, which is our present location right now. In 1997, the library had a 9,000-foot expansion that increased our total blueprint here to 30,000 square feet. And we're very excited, especially it being our 100th anniversary, that the library board's been working with our Carrie and Iovino architects to expand the children's room, refresh the entire building, make some small meeting spaces, a technology lab, and even a library cafe.
The library has gone from a very busy building to an incredibly busy building. We offer lots of activities, the circulation is up, the number of unique visitors has increased, and we just keep going. Lots of different programming to really satisfy our incredibly diverse community.
Renderings of the expansion project will be unveiled at the library's 100th anniversary celebration party on June 1st. Tickets will be available for purchase online and at the library beginning mid-March.
We have a few great events coming up for the 100th anniversary of the library. On May 4th, we are having a party for the children of Fort Lee, tying in with our annual Teddy Bear Tea Party. And then on June 1st, we have our Evening in the Stacks program, which is going to be an amazing party for adults 21 and over. We will have past small bites, an open bar. We have a local DJ, Afino Entertainment, DJing, and it will be catered by Chiller's Grill of Fort Lee. So it will be a local event, a great event to celebrate the 100th anniversary.
That wraps up our show for February. We'll see you again next month.